Today, we are looking at the biggest game show cheaters of all time, because if I'm going to go on a game show, I want to know how to cheat correctly. And there's only one way to find out, and that's from the experts.
For many, The Price is Right brings back memories of staying home from school and perusing the cozy channels of daytime TV.
We don't have The Price is Right in the UK,
The Price is Right
sadly.
was a way of life. Slauson loved the show and memorized the exact prices of its prizes, which were often featured more than once.
So one week I got into like watching Price is Right from like 1973.
Dude, that is deep cut, man. That's so deep cut.
The same refrigerator freezer is on 4 different episodes that I watched.
When he started showing up in the studio for tapings, Slauson would yell out the correct prices to contestants, thereby helping them win. This famously came to a head in 2008 when contestant Terry Neese correctly guessed the exact amount of the final double showcase.
Actual retail price.
Well, actually, that's their fault. If they reuse something that's the same price every single time, that's their fault. That's not no one's actually cheating in that scenario, right? This is before you could even use the internet to double check this kind of stuff. That just seems like good strategy and proper planning ahead of time. And also, if you're taking notes on game shows, then maybe you need to like take a break for a bit.
$23,743. You got it right on the nose.
The event was quite famous, and it forced the producers to acknowledge their complacency and diversify the pricing system. Slauson's story was later told in the documentary Perfect Bid,
yeah, that's that fault.
The contestant who knew too much.
And Susan, you know how to play this game, don't you?
Sort of.
Sort of?
I was trying to tell her 2100. You can actually see me at one point kind of finishing off the 2100 and then doing it again.
Number 9, the flip.
Wait, that was in a different show? After he did that the first time and shouted out the correct answer, why did they let him back in again? They thought, well, he did a little cheating, but he probably won't do it again. Yeah, he seems to have learned his lesson. And immediately he shouts out the answer again.
In the Price is
Honestly,
Right
still that's
game
their
of
fault.
flip-flop, contestants must alter the first 2 numbers, the last 2 numbers, or all 4 numbers to correctly guess the price.
Or you can flop the last 2 numbers to make it $8,610.
Okay, so there's only like 4 variations of what it could be, because it's either red, white. So there's only 4 different ways it could be. So you got like a 25% chance to get it every time. Is that right? Am I an idiot? I think I might be dumb.
Or flip and flop to make it $6,810.
A man named Breton is told how to play the game, and he even gestures to the crowd to help him out. But rather than flipping or flopping, Breton presses the button that reveals the correct answer.
No!
Dude, that's so funny. You know that when they did like a test run, because they don't just grab them randomly, they have to do a test run. They have to tell them how it works ahead of time, right? And they know when they said, do not under any circumstances press this red button at any point. And the guy was sitting in the back like, I know what I'm gonna do. I've got a plan, a dastardly plan, a plan of epic proportions, a plan that'll make other plans seem unplanned by comparison. I'm going to hit the button.
To be honest, we don't know if this is cheating or just an honest mistake. Either way, it resulted
He walked
in one
off.
heck of a pay.
Is that Joe Biden?
Yeah. In an incredible act of charity, Barker gives Breton the prize in the end.
There is only one solution to this almost insoluble problem. I'm going to give you the prize. Get off the stage.
Still, Bob Barker
Okay, that is not a good thing to do for the future. You're just telling people that if you cheat, then you will get the prize. I mean, if someone comes up and does that, you're like, dude, you weren't supposed to do that. And then, but I guess you just do it for the content. You know what? It's good for the video. It's good for the content. Good for the show. People probably thought that it was a cool thing for them to do. So I think overall, it was worth the price of the prize.
Yelling no and walking off stage has to be one of the funniest moments on the show. Number 8, Khalid El-Khatatani. We don't know if Khalid El-Khatatani plays poker, but if he doesn't, then he totally should. This 19-year-old man appeared on the game show Millionaire Hot Seat, which is essentially the Australian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I was going to say, is that not literally just Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Also, isn't $1 million Australian dollars worth like £2.50 or something?
I am ready.
El-Khatatani made for a very entertaining guest, often playing dumb and constantly plugging his own Instagram accounts. Regardless, he walked away with the top prize of $100,000.
Yeah, well,
He's like, geez, Jeff, I don't know the answer to this question. I'd have to think about it and maybe like post the answer when I really think about it. I'll film a video and post it on my Instagram, @patterrz. Oh, geez. I think I will post it on @patterrz when I think of the answer on Instagram, when I post it on my Instagram account.
I have no idea. And if you want to know my thought process, it was like...
I'll post it on my Instagram account.
And how did he do it? By apparently reading the body language of host and question asker Eddie McGuire. He observed McGuire's subtle tell whenever the correct answer was read aloud and went with it.
You've won $100,000.
No. That's not cheating. That's just smart. Reading the body language of the host is probably harder than remembering like random information like that anyway. That's cool.
As he later told the media,
No, he deserves
I
it.
didn't play the game, I played the man. Number
Yeah,
7.
no, that's sick. That's
Rick
smart.
Rockwell. This is a different kind of cheater. On February 15th, 2000, Fox aired a 2-hour special called Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire? The show saw 50 women competing to marry a mysterious millionaire.
50 women will compete to marry a mystery multimillionaire she won't meet until she says I do.
Over 20 million people
What?
tuned in to watch winner Darva Conger marry.
That is so risky. You don't know who there's a lot of millionaires out there in the world. Like, you may not think it, but there are thousands and thousands of millionaires just in America. You don't know who you're getting. You're getting roll the dice. Let's be honest. Anyone that agrees to do this show, they're not going to be, you know, the most, maybe not the most attractive guy in the world. Maybe a little bit desperate to have a wife that he would go so far as to put himself on a show where you have to say yes before you even see the guy, before they marry them. That's not really the greatest indicator that you're going to have a healthy, lasting relationship.
Who was eventually revealed to be Rick Rockwell. But as it turned out, Rockwell had, shall we say, embellished his image for the show.
Darva meets and marries Rick Rockwell on a 2-hour TV show.
Darva, are you ready for a honeymoon tonight?
Absolutely, ready to go.
He lied about his work as a motivational speaker and had previously been the target of a restraining order filed by his previous
Darva Conger, multi-millionaire's wife. Wow, what a thing to be
partner.
referred to
He
as.
also lived in a modest house, and many question his status as a multimillionaire. Winner Darva Conger claimed that she was duped by Rockwell and quickly had their marriage annulled.
Wait, did they not at least like verify that this was a multimillionaire before they made an entire show around marrying a multimillionaire? They went through the whole thing of, they built a set for this. They got 50 women to sign up for this. They got the guy, they got the whole premise for the show. They advertised the show. They did the show. Then they didn't verify the guy was actually a millionaire? This could have been a serial killer. It could have been me. I could have just called them up and be like, hello, I have million of dollar. Please put me on show. And they'd be like, oh, well, I guess we'll do it then.
I was having to defend myself. I'm being called a gold digger and a this and a that and being ripped apart in the media. And I'm like, well, but I'm not a celebrity.
Number 6.
You're getting called a gold digger because you went on a show where you would marry the person that you'd never seen in your entire life solely based on the fact that they have a lot of money. Now, listen, I'm all for people, you know, they do go overboard when they call women gold diggers, and it's unfairly and unjustified a lot of the times when maybe people just want to be in a relationship. I think women get dunked on a lot when they don't deserve it. But let's be honest, you went on a show where the only thing you knew about the person was that they had a lot of money and that you want to marry them immediately.
Lauren and Frank Cleary.
Let's be honest with what happened here.
A short-lived game show that aired on Fox between 2008 and 2009.
If they tell the truth, they can win up to $500,000.
The procedure was as follows. Contestants are given a polygraph test prior to the game, and then they are re-asked the same personal questions in the studio in front of friends and family.
Aren't
If they can
polygraph
openly
tests,
admit
like, not
embarrassing
accurate, though?
truths about themselves, they are awarded money. One episode aired in which Lauren Clary seemingly ended her marriage on national TV.
Oh, I remember this. Okay, this makes me feel like this is staged. But listen, if you're gonna go on a polygraph test show, I assume that a lot of them are not super accurate. But if you're gonna go on a show like this, why would you lie? Why would you go on the show if you'd like cheated on your wife?
should be married.
Right?
In a later interview, however, the couple claimed that they had spoken about the answers before the show started and that they were only concerned about the money. Turns out these weren't dramatic secrets that Clary was revealing for the first time. They were well known, despite her husband's theatrical acting.
This is
They did it for the content. They put it on for the content, and honestly, I'm totally for that. That's fine. It's staged.
You know what I mean? Go for it. This is a little bigger than the game right now.
Number 5. Michael Larson. This man from Ohio made game show history in 1984 by winning over $110,000 in the CBS program Press Your Luck.
Today, these three players are after high stakes, but they'll have to avoid the whammy as they play the most exciting game of their lives. From Television City in Hollywood, it's time to press your...
What is this?
Larson was a big fan of the
Press
show.
Your Luck.
And like The Price is Right's Ted Slauson, he meticulously studied the gameplay. Larson would
As you
take
should.
episodes and use the recordings to memorize the pattern of the game board. He then flew
Yeah.
to Los Angeles and appeared on the show.
That's fine though. That if you honestly, if you understand how the game works before you go on it, that's just you doing your meticulous research. They should make a game that can't be so easily duped.
Stop at 1250 again.
Larson's
Okay, that was just really good timing, to be honest. He deserves it. Give him the money.
knowledge of the game board allowed him to go on a tear, and he ended up with historic winnings. CBS accused Larson of cheating and initially denied him the prize money. But because memorizing the board
Give him the
wasn't
money.
technically against the rules, the $110,000 was grudgingly handed over.
What they need to do is just make a game that can't be cheated like that. Easy.
Stop it. A Mexican proves what the difference it is. Michael.
What was that? Does it say Michigan Center on that? What's Michigan Center? Where are you going?
It's a scandal that's actually in-house. Between 56 and 58, NBC aired a game show called 21, which saw two contestants duking it out in general knowledge trivia.
One of the most famous promoters in boxing history, the man who promoted the first $1 Million Gate, is largely responsible for prize fights being staged out of doors. Name this man.
Tex Rickard.
Right, you now have 16 points.
Following a disastrous first episode,
It's crazy that everyone used to talk like that back in the day. That is so hilarious. Everyone used to talk like back in the day, see? And we all used to have this kind of accent. And we also used to go on the radio and we all used to say the radio things. Like, and we went in cars and we spoke like this all the time.
producer Dan Enright decided to rig the show and hired contestant Herb Stempel to act as an underdog champion. Stempel was provided with both the questions and answers beforehand and racked up quote-unquote winnings of nearly
Now that's
$70,000.
actually, finally, someone who's actually cheating in this.
Must be the second.
You're right, and you have 21 points.
He was eventually quote-unquote defeated by a man named Charles Van Doren. It's been reported that these weren't the only two contestants to be cast in a similar fashion to actors, and 21 became highly choreographed after its first broadcast. Number 3. Adriana.
Come on, if you're gonna have a game show, these are like one of the first game shows of all time. This is before we even had television. Well, it's just when we start to have television, you're already staging it. Why has American TV always been like this?
Should cheating be taken as seriously if it's a celebrity contestant? That's the question at hand when it comes to Armani and Prada model Adriana Abenia. Spain has a popular game show called Pasapalabra, which itself is a remake of the British panel show The Alphabet Game. While appearing as a celebrity guest, Abenia secretly held her iPhone under the table and attempted to use the music-identifying app Shazam to cheat her way through a segment. However, she received a text at an inopportune time, and this was noticed by the host. He called her out, and Abenia playfully acknowledged that yes, that was her phone, and yes, she was indeed cheating.
Oh my god! She just whipped out the phone! Well, I want to see the clip of where it dings. I can't find the clip of that happening. That would have been so fun to watch, though.
Number 2. Charles Van Doren.
It's the guy from before, wasn't it?
21 with Charles Van Doren, the man who finally dethroned rigged champion Herb Stempel in front of 15 million viewers.
Was he also rigged?
$20,000. Congratulations.
Van Doren's reign on 21 made him a national celebrity and even appeared on the cover of Time. Well, as you probably won't be very shocked to learn, Van Doren was in on the whole scam too.
Halleck. General H.W. Halleck.
It's like the WWE, except of quiz game shows.
Following his dive, Herb Stempel became a whistleblower and exposed the fraudulent nature of not only 21, but many other game shows of the time. The case went all the way to
He's
Congress,
the Undertaker.
and former rivals Stempel and Van Doren teamed up to expose the deception.
Bro, he won 50 grand back in like the 1950s. That must have been worth $2 billion.
Made a law expressly prohibiting producer intervention and predetermined game show winners.
Be very, very careful before you answer. Take your time. And
that is ridiculous. What's the point of having a game show if you've already got a predetermined winner? What's the point?
Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about
You
our
should
latest
subscribe
videos.
to more patterrz.
To be notified for occasional
because
videos
I'm also
or all of
100,000
them.
subscribers.
If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
You don't have to do that though. You don't have to turn
Number 1,
notifications on my channel.
Charles Ingram. British Army Major Charles Ingram appeared on the British Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in 2001 and became just the third person to win the top prize.
You just won $1 million.
Damn, that's a lot.
However,
in 2001, that probably was like 2
of
million.
Ingram's performance, as he played erratically, didn't seem confident, and often doubled back on incorrect answers. As a result, they withheld his earnings and launched an investigation.
I have sat through so many hours with the police and the fraud squad of tapes of the major show. He is so guilty. It's like once you lock into it, it's like, oh, for God's sake.
After studying the tape, they concluded that Ingram had been cheating with the help of a man named Tequan Wittuck and his own wife, Diana. They were both in the audience and reportedly coughed when the correct answer was read.
It's up to you. I can't help you, Charles. It's your lifeline gone bad.
All three were convicted of deception and given suspended prison sentences.
Convicted of deception? You can be convicted of telling little fibs. You can be... Come on, guys. You convicted him of coughing. All they did was a little bit of coughing there. That's an interesting tactic, though. It is crazy that they got caught. I'm surprised that they even realized that he was cheating, to be honest. Should just let him have it. Just let him have it. It's fine.
The Ingrams were also forced to pay £115,000 in fines and defense costs. Did you enjoy this video?
115 grand? That's insane. But not as insane as not subscribing to more patterrz. That's what you should do right now.